Hey, scrappy people, it's Tracy Reed here today, coming at you with a pocket page, a single pocket page that is the companion to my last non-vacation album video, and it is us bowling at this really cool place in downtown Knoxville called Maple Hall. And I am making this easy on myself and using the exact same papers that I used on the right hand side to scrapbook these pocket pages. So I have trimmed down a bunch of the papers that I've already used, and you can see that video earlier this week in my playlist for my 12 by 12 album. And I've taken all of my scraps and I've decided to incorporate everything into cards. You know, I love to layer my cards. I love to print my photos smaller than 4x6 and 3x4 in order to create a lot of room to decorate my pages. You know, I love a lot of layering and I don't love full pocket photos. So that is where I have started here. I'm using a bunch of stash products from Cocoa Daisy, from Pink Paisley. That pink paper is a solid that I designed for Simple Stories, and the wood grain paper is the remnants of the wood grain paper that I used on the right hand side in the 12 by 12 layout from a very old line that I designed for Simple Stories. There's just a lot of old product going on here. That was the whole point of this video, and it makes me super happy to pull out old product and use it on a page, because I know that we often focus on the newer stuff and all of the bright shiny things that we buy on a regular basis. So it makes me super happy to reach back into the old and neglected stuff and use it on a page. So I'm creating a lot of really fun and layered pockets with the scraps, trying to make sure that I don't use the same process for every card. So I'm notching some banners for this card. I created sort of belly bands for the other card over there, and I'm just making things pretty. I love all of this pink, this hot pink, to match that happy birthday card up at the top there. And you'll see at the end that the two pages really go together really well. They're super fun as a combination. Sometimes you have to look at the pocket page that's the companion to the 12 by 12 page as the place where you get to tell the story, because oftentimes we don't tell a lot of stories because we don't want to quote unquote clutter up our beautiful 12 by 12 creations with words and journaling, because it takes up a lot of real estate and we don't like our handwriting, or we don't feel like we have a lot to say. So I love pairing 12 by 12 or 9 by 12 full page layouts with pocket page layouts, because it feels like you can at least dedicate one of those 3x4 pockets to telling the story. And that's what I have there with that We Were Here card. That is where I'm going to add in all of my journaling for this page. I actually have journaling for the 12 by 12 page as well, but it's not journaling that relates to the story of what we're doing so much as the story of my baby turning 17. So I took that chipboard banner and I cut off the top of it, and then I took the top that I cut off and used it down there on that bottom page too. You know that I hate when things go to waste. So if I have a place to use whatever I cut off or little bits and pieces of product that that anyone else would throw away, I love to do that. So I've pulled out some word bits for each of these cards. I had pulled them out previously to starting this video. That is one thing that I always think about before I start videos. And not everybody records videos, obviously, but one thing that I really like to do to sort of save myself time for my videos and my layouts is to pre-plan. Pull out things that you think will work beforehand and do all of that thought process before you get started, and it's so much easier than trying to do it while you're scrapbooking. So I created this little bowling ball with black paint and this pink paper that I'm using everywhere else. I could have used bowling themed product. That would have been fairly easy for me, considering that I have a wealth of digital scrapbooking products to pull from, and digital scrapbooking products tend to be more themed than regular scrapbooking products. So I could have pulled out a bowling collection and created a bowling layout, but instead I just created a bowling ball with a circle punch and some black paint and called it good. I don't need to pull out themed product for my layout if I don't want to. Sometimes I really enjoy it, but not always, and especially since it wasn't going to match the left-hand side of my layout unless I forced it to. So this was perfect, like the perfect way to compromise and have that like little bowling embellishment without creating an entire bowling themed layout. So I have some Cocoa Daisy scraps from older collections this year on the right hand side here, and I pull out these rub-ons from last year, and the first one that I use works perfectly because I put it on the photo, and the photo is more sticky than cardstock is going to be. But when I try to use the rub-ons on the cardstock, you will see that it does not work out so well. So I'm going to take this little heart rub-on that I've cut off over there, and I'm going to put it on my photo first, above that let's root for each other. Just a little thing, just a little addition that adds just that sweet little touch. And then I decide I want to use these diamonds on that card to fill in that space, and man, they do not want to stick. And no matter how hard I rub them on, they do not stick. So instead I'm going to take this black word bit and I'm going to cover up where it was going to be. Not the best solution. I would have liked pattern under there instead, but you know, you do what you got to do, you make it work. Looking at the rest of these black stickers, trying to see if there's anything else I want to add in here, trying not to touch the black paint on that bowling ball because yes, it is still wet. And then I pull out the stars from the Cocoa Daisy, what was it called? Solstice collection from September of last year. There are some pink stars that I'm going to use after I get this pink word bit down. I did find a pink word bit that would work both in theme and in color for this card, but I'm trying to pull off the black heart right now, and man, it did not want to come off. I wanted to relocate it, but I couldn't because I had to basically tear it up, so that sucked. But you can't tell. So the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add in these pink stars all over the place. I felt like I needed a simple icon to finish off this page, so I'm adding them here and there, especially with that top right, or that top title card. It needed something other than what it had, so I'm adding those stars, and I'm going to call it good. So if you enjoyed this video, I'd love it if you give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, go ahead and subscribe. I would love to have you. If you don't already, you can follow me over on Instagram. I'm at Tracy M. Reed. I'd love to see you over there as well, and I will see you next time. All right, thank you.